warm welcome back to the channel and to the garden tribe. In today's video we are going to find out when the best time is to plant the garden huckleberry in colder climates. If you have some garden huckleberry seeds, if you are interested in cultivating this super nutritious vegetable and you do not know when the best time is to start planting them, watch this video and I will explain to you what you need to know to determine the best time to plant the vegetable based on where you are. And this is based on my experience of growing this vegetable for over 20 years now out here in the USA in my Zone 9A garden. When is the best time to plant the garden huckleberry or country Njama Njama in colder climates? That is the question we are going to answer in today's video. Hello and welcome back to my channel and to my garden. My name is YAJE'S and I'm passionate about gardening and about health. So I do share content around gardening and health here on this channel weekly. If you're new to the channel or you have never considered subscribing, I hope you do. Click on that red subscribe button right at the corner there to join the family. So a member of the tribe recently bought some seeds from me, the garden huckleberry seeds, and wanted to know when the best time is to plant the garden huckleberry out here in colder climates. So that's why I decided to do this video to answer that question. So if you have some garden huckleberry seeds or you bought the seeds from me and you do not know when to plant, by watching this video you are going to know exactly when to plant the seeds depending on where you are. The answer to that question is it depends, and I'm going to share with you why I say it depends. I'm going to explain to you the factors that contribute to when you can actually plant your garden huckleberry. That way you can determine when that time is for you. I am also going to tell you what it is based on where I am, which is Zone 9A, based on my experience of cultivating the garden huckleberry in Zone 9A. I'll tell you exactly what it is. But if you are not in Zone 9A, I will tell you what you need to know to determine what the best time is for you. Let's start with the first thing I would like you to know: the growing cycle of the garden huckleberry. The garden huckleberry takes about 5 to 7 days to germinate. And then after germination, it's going to take about 4 to 5 weeks to be ready for transplant. And how you know it is ready for transplant is when it has formed at least 4 to 5 true leaves. Then it is ready for transplant. Some people transplant and some people just sow the seeds and then harvest without transplanting. But in either case, it's going to be around 6 weeks from when you sow the seeds until when you can have like the first harvest. So it is important to understand that it takes up to 6 weeks from when you sow the seeds to when you can harvest. The second thing I'd like you to keep in mind is that the garden huckleberry is cultivated for its leaves, a leafy green, and the leaves cannot withstand frost. It cannot withstand frost. Any temperature that drops below freezing, which is below 0 degrees Celsius or 32 degrees Fahrenheit, you are going to lose your country Njama Njama or the garden huckleberry. So keep that in mind. Because we are out here in colder climates, outside of the natural environment of the garden huckleberry, and we do have frost, so it is important for you to understand that the garden huckleberry will not tolerate frost. It prefers full sun. It prefers temperatures between 20 and 30 degrees Celsius. It can still do well below 20 degrees, but it does better above 20 degrees Celsius. But with frost, it's a no-no. It's going to die, so keep that in mind. Now, I mentioned frost, which is one important thing that gardeners need to know. Frost dates based on where they are. I've come to realize that many people don't know what their first frost date is and the last frost date is. You need to have this information and know it based on where you are. I am in Zone 9A, which is the hardiness zone. and our first frost date is generally around November the 29th. What that means is there's a 50% chance, I believe, that on that day the temperature is going to drop below 0 degrees. That's from historical data. It may not happen, but historically we usually get the first frost date November 29th. That means that if I still have my garden huckleberry in the garden, around that time I can expect that if there's a frost, I'm going to lose my vegetables. All right, now that we know our last frost date and our first frost date, and now that we know it takes about 6 weeks for you to harvest, then with that information you can then determine when the best time is for you to sow your country Njama Njama seeds. If you are doing spring gardening, then wait until that last frost date has passed, maybe by about 10 days before you sow your seeds. For me, in zone 9A, my last frost date is around the 1st of March. So I usually wait until after the 10th of March to sow my seeds. That way I have higher chances that the frost is behind me, because again, remember that the frost date is based on historical data. There's a 50% chance that you can still have your frost date past that March the 1st, and then all your vegetables will still die. So I just wait at least 10 days, sometimes up to 14 days, around middle of March to sow my seeds out here in zone 9A. So for you, you are going to check when your last frost date is based on where you are. I'm going to put a link in the description box. You can click on it, put in your zip code, and it will tell you when your last frost date is. Add 10 to 14 days to that, and then sow your seeds. If you want to grow your vegetables in the fall, as I'm doing right now, the date that you remember is your first frost date. My first frost date is November the 29th, and knowing that it takes about 6 weeks for me to get my first harvest, I can calculate at least 6 weeks and then add maybe another month of harvesting. So I'm back calculating around 10 weeks to sow my seeds. For me, that is somewhere between, the middle of September to the end of September. Actually, what I have growing in the garden now, I nurse the seeds on the 28th of September. I hope that makes sense. I couldn't plant the seeds in August here in Houston because it's very, very hot. The sun will just kill the young seedlings before they ever have a chance at survival, unless I plant it in the shade. So that's why I waited until like September to plant. So I hope that answers the question for you. When is the best time to grow the garden huckleberry? If you're still not sure, let me know in the comment section below. If this video added any value to you, don't forget to give the video a thumbs up. If you have not yet subscribed, be sure to do so to join the family. My whole thing here is to encourage everybody to grow their own food in the backyard, because when you do grow a garden, you grow health. And if you need some garden huckleberry seeds, I have some I can send to you. Just let me know. Email me. Thank you so much for your encouragement and your support. I do see you all. Until next time, grow a garden. Bye.